Hey Vaper, Stirfry here. Today I'm going to be reviewing the LIT RDA by VandyVape. There's the latest in the RDA line, so we're going to take it downtown and investigate. So the LIT RDA by VandyVape. Alright, this is not the packaging it's going to come in. As you can see, this is just a sample. But let's take a look at what we got. First we have the LIT RDA. It comes with 3 different drip tips. I have the black, there's a clear, and then there's this resin, which is a nice. These are all 810 goon style drip tips. It's have a nice O-ring in the center. The O-rings on here are pretty nice and tight. They're really good. In the bottom, we have the good old blue Phillips screwdriver, an Allen key. The Allen key is for replacing your squonk pin. Let's see, you have a squonk pin, and the standard pin is installed. Some O-rings, some screws, and you have your 510 drip tip adapter. Also in the box, they gave me some, as you can see, some stainless steel mesh, stainless steel 316. Alright, sorry about the lighting in here. And then you got your quality control certificate. So here we have the LIT RDA. Now you can see what's really nice about this is your airflow control. You have dots. Now I'll take the whole top off so you can see it. You have these dots, which will be 4x4, so 16 holes on each side. Or you have slots, which is nice. Now this is not set up for any single coil, so it's definitely dual coil. What makes this really nice and unique is, to get the deck out, and not so much unique, is you have your mounting there. It's for your coil mounts, which are, you see, flathead screwdriver, flathead or Phillips. You can use either one. I like the Phillips. Just loosen your screws. As you can see, it's spring loaded. They're spring loaded, which is nice. On each side of this, you have a little dip down, so if you're dripping, your fluid runs down because it is a nice, good, deep juice well. Now if it gets up over a certain level, there is a ledge here. You can see, I think there's a very small gap, not much, but a very small gap between. But there's a hole that goes from one side to the other, so if you get really high. And that's where your squonk juice is going to come out. When you're squonking, your juice is going to come out of there. But as you can see, as I was saying before, these are spring loaded. And they're good and wide. So, you can set it up, you put your mesh in here. And you can put coils in here. Now I milled 2 coils. These are Alien Claptons. 6 wraps each. And when you set them up, you can put one on this side, and you got your positive and your negative at the top and bottom. They're separated. You got your insulator here. And just put that in. And the great thing about the way they make this is, you can either do them vertical, or rather horizontal, or depending on how you put them in. And I have to loosen this up a bit more. And that's why they give you such long screws. And this opens up really nice. You can put some really big builds in here. You can set them up like this and do them vertical. And you can also do your mesh coils in here from one side to the other. Now if you're doing mesh, you're going to have a really big gap in there. You want to make it big and hold. So I'm going to make a dual coil setup in this. Again, these are Alien Claptons. There's 6 wraps each. And I'm going to do a build on this, wick it up, and we're going to test it. Real quick on the back. On the bottom it says VandyVape. Here's your little serial number. This is a sample unit. I'm not going to set up for squonking. We're just going to leave it at dripping. But just to get your dimensions right off the bat for you. from the base to the top of the drip tip, you have 31.4 millimeters. And we have a width of 24 millimeters. Slight protruding drip 510 connector, gold plated. And it has a replaceable skunk pen at the bottom. So this is nice. Separate top cap. There's your airflow control. Your top cap. And again, I'm going to show you the deck one more time before I do my build. Spring loaded. So we're going to do a quick build on this. We're going to wick it up and we're going to try it out. So I have them pretty well spaced apart. Got 2 coils I've rolled at 3.0. And you got one top, one bottom, one left and right. Put that one like that. That way when I put the other side in, they'll be just the opposite. These roll in the same way. There we go. You tend to get stray there. I always want to try to bend your legs out a little bit, like I did not do. That way to try to stay perfectly somewhat out. Let's try to get a little bit of space between the wall, the addy wall, and the coil. I'm tighten them down a little bit on each side at a time. And there you go. Now they're in there good and tight. I'm going to make some minor adjustments. So I'll take my little tool here and I'm trying to straighten up my coils. There we go. And then we're going to cut them. I like the way this build deck is set up. So when you cut them, you don't cut the other legs. You don't take the chance of cutting the legs on the other side. There we go. So there we have them. Now I'm going to straighten them up and everything, but before I do, since what I'm going to do is take this and put this on a squonker. I'm going to take out the 510 pin and replace it with the squonker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this on my pulse squonk mod. Flathead screwdriver. Make sure you hold this down. Now this uses a 2-piece 510 pin. There we go. And we put this. There's our squonk pin. Drop that in. Allen key. There you go. Still protruding a little bit. Nice and tight. Everything's good and tight. Alright, let's do some dry burn. Alright, let's check our resistance. So we're reading a 0.25. It's not bad. It's always going to be a little bit difference between your own meter and your mod. Let's see what the mod picks up. And it's also reading 0.25. Good job. I'm going to dry burn these, and then we're going to wick them. Always have your tweezers handy. Ceramic, always have ceramic tweezers. With ceramics, you can always pinch them while you're pulsing them. And you really want to use ceramic when you're dealing with something like this, a vertical coil, because you're going to ground out a lot. Alright, got some hot spots here. Oops, too far out there. Try to line these up again a little bit. I probably wanted to do something a little smaller when you're doing these coils. If you do verticals, you probably do want to make them try to be 5 rolls or 5 turns, not 6. Coming. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to wick these, and I'll show you how we wick them in one moment. Now when you're wicking vertical coil, excuse me, when you're wicking vertical coils, it can be tricky. And push your wick down. Use your tweezers. You take your tweezers and you're going to pull your cotton down. You can also go the other way around. You can go from top, if you can get it in there, and top down. And there's our cotton coming up there. It's not the easiest, not the prettiest thing in the world. There we go. And you want to make sure you don't pull too much cotton through, or pull too hard, because if the cotton's too tight, you'll actually separate it and break the threads. I'm going to cut that, and then we're going to do the other side. More your cotton. And same on the other side. Take it through, bottom it out, take your tweezers and pull it down. This is good for me because I haven't done a vertical build in quite some time. Alright, make sure it's nice and snug. There we go. And cut. And pull the excess cotton out. Sorry. Well, and then we're going to tuck. Buff it and tuck. Down and well. Great thing about using vertical coils are you don't need to make it really long. And tuck. There we go. All this excess up top, you can always trim that down. There you go. I could probably actually cut this a little closer. If I know I can cut that closer, which I probably will. Now the juice I'm going to be using, and there you have it, 2 vertical coils. Now the juice I'm going to be using is the Melon Twist by Twisty Liquids. It's their Honeydew, one of their latest flavors. They're coming out with a new flavor. I can't wait to try it out. Let's juice this up. Got our coils. Pulse the coil a little bit to suck it in. There we go. Pulse. There we go. Yeah, I can still probably cut these a little better. And this is going on the Squonk mod. So. Now that I've pulsed these, you find your resistances change. And I talked about that in another video. I'll leave a link up in the description, or I'll put a little tag up there talking about how when you pulse a coil or when you fire a coil 0.34 or 31, it changes with temperature. So it will change again. Alright? So we're going to put this on the pulse. Go. Let's see if we can see down in there. My tweezers at. So you see that. There you go. Juicing up. There we go. Let's set our top cap on now. You want them across from the coils. And they lined up directly with the coils. So I turn a little bit there. Coil through each side. Top. And this one we're going to go with the slotted. go. Let's take it back up top and vape. Alright, really quickly, I just did a horizontal build on this. Using the same coils. Wicking's the same. And it's really simple. Either do a horizontal or vertical build. And you can also do mesh coils. And I'll explain why I'm doing a horizontal build right now. When I go back up top. So, oops. There we go. There you go. Same as before. And flip it. And we're going to cut. And I took the squonk pin out. Tuck. And tuck. So you see it's very easily, you can either do a horizontal or you can do a vertical build. You can also do coils, mesh. So I'm going to juice this up and we're going to take it back up top. So that's the LIT RDA by VandyVape. Let's start out with the cons. First con, it gets hot. It would be nice if they didn't have, well, there's not much you can do with the design, but the coils are pretty close to the sides, so it heats up pretty quick. It really does. Maybe if this was like coated, like a black powder coating or something like that, it'd probably help cool it down a little bit, but it gets pretty hot. Another con I would say is something you should think about in production. It'd be nice if they had little niches, so when you put the cap on, it locks in place so you're perfectly lined up with your coils. But depending on your coil build, you might want to adjust that. So that's pretty much subjective. I like the fact that it gives you a lot of drip tips. Oh, another con. It would be nice if they included some coils with this. They do give you steel mesh. It would be nice if they also included a couple coils for your build, just to get, to make it easy for you. But everybody's doing their own different things. Different companies have different RDAs, and some come with coils, some don't. It would be nice to give you a couple coils with this. Pros, they give you a lot of drip tips. They give you 3 different drip tips with this. And you can put your A10s in here, goon style. I do remember, I'll correct it if it's not, there's a 510 drip tip adapter, so you can put your longer drip tips or your taller 810 drip tips in this to back you away, because it gets really hot, especially if you got your lips on a shorty drip tip like this. Airflow. Now we're getting into pros. This thing has airflow for days. I mean days. The airflow is really adjustable any way you want to do it. You can get it all the way down and get a real nice tight draw on this if you do it right. It's very flavorful. On the inside it is domed, so you do pick up a lot of flavor on this. There's different kind of configurations because the way the build deck is, you can make vertical coils, horizontal coils, steel mesh coils. You can put quad coils in if you do it right, if you know what you're doing. There's a lot of ways and a lot of creativity you can get with this type of RDA. It's got a good price point. I will put some links down in the description of places that you can pick it up. I like the adjustability of it, that the adjustment and the top cap are separate, so you can adjust it any way you want to. They got 2 different types of airflow, and for that, let me put another con. It doesn't have the availability of using just a single coil, so you do have to run it in dual. All in all, it's a great RDA. It's a really nice RDA. I love the build deck. I love the ease of building on it. I love the flavor coming out of it. the drip tips, the available colors. It's a good RDA, so I give it a thumbs up and an A++, however you want to grade it. VandyVape, you guys did it again. Nice product, great strong showing. I'll look forward to see what you guys come up with next. This is Vaper, excuse me, this is Stirfry Vaper out. Vape strong and vape on.